Joining the podcast today is Kayne Henry, who, if I'm not mistaken, just won a gold medal. Kayne, tell me a little bit about that.
So I took part in the Commonwealth Games this summer, represented my country, England, and we managed to knock off the defending champions, Australia, in the finals to win that gold medal. And for those who aren't familiar, Commonwealth Games is like baby Olympics sort of in a way. Um, Took part in 3-on-3, um, regular basketball game, except it's half court, game to 21, 10-minute games, and a very fast pace, very physical actually. And there's just it's a whole different dynamic to the game, and I pretty much enjoyed a different take on the game this summer. But it was definitely an experience I cherish.
Speaking of countries playing against each other, have you been keeping up with the World Cup any? Are you salty that USA put out your England?
Hey, I'm not a big fan of soccer, but that did hurt me a little bit. It did. It really did. But I'm gonna look past that. We're gonna bounce back. Is what
What
it
was
is.
what was basketball like for you as a kid growing up in London? How was since soccer is such, the dominant sport over there, how do kids grow up and kind of gravitate towards basketball? What was your experience with it?
So back in when I was younger, my days, basketball wasn't as big as it is right now. I can say it's definitely grown over the years. And for me, soccer was a big thing back then. But thankfully, I had a coach that I met when I was like 7, and he was very dedicated to the sport. It was like almost a religion to him, kind of. But took me in. Had like an after school session, whatever. And I turns out I was the only kid that actually went. Like I said, it's not big back home. So I went to it, took it up. He kind of realized, yeah, it's not really, no one's really feeling it around here, and I was the only one. So he invited me to his club team and went over there. From there, it was sorry, almost an upwards from there actually. Um, Started to enjoy it. I was kind of excited. It's a different outlook because I had never really experienced basketball like that, and just having that with me, I had my mom motivating me, my dad, my brothers. So it was a big thing for me. I liked it.
When was the first time that you kind of knew that, hey, I might be good at this basketball thing?
I never really knew it myself. I was always told, like, people will come watch me play. Other parents, other coaches, they look at me and be like, they go up to my mom and be like, "Is that your son?" And be like, "Yeah, it's my son." And be like, "He's got some real potential. He's talent. He's gonna be real good when he's older." And I just had a lot of that growing up, and I took that in. So that's always been something that's been a part of me because I know people see the potential in me. So that's something else that drives me, but also my own motivation. Um, Seeing I see the potential myself, so I'm never really satisfied with how I perform most of the times during games because there's always room for improvement. So even if I have like a good 20 points, 10 rebounds, double game, I'm not satisfied. Like I know I can do that, but there's also more in the tank that I can give off. So that's my mentality on it.
Well, you played high school at St. Charles in London. What was your recruiting process like for you? Was it hard to get recruited by schools in the U.S. being in London, or did you even want to go to the U.S.?
Definitely didn't want to go to the US. Always had that dream. But that dream started pretty late, probably when I was like 15. But high school in London for me wasn't really the best exposure to get recruited for D1, especially with the level I was playing at. So what happened with me? I took part in the FIBA U18s well, basketball tournament championship, whatever. Um, what was it? Yeah, I had a pretty good tournament that week. Went to Estonia. We played countries like Bulgaria, Estonia, Croatia, and that was probably my first big stage that I had been on at that time where I could actually showcase what I could do. And there was one game in particular, I had like 35 points that game, and did pull away with the win. But after that game, I'm not sure if you're aware of Mike Schmidt's draft express analysis. Well, he found me after the game, did a little interview, and after that, well, coach didn't really want to tell me there and then because he didn't really want it to get to my head. But he's telling me, yeah, keep doing your thing. You're having people watching you, look at you, asking about you. I'm like, all right, cool. And then after that was done, and my high school season was finished, I kind of had to. I had teams reaching out to me, but I also had I had to make my own highlight tape and really put myself out there to try and get schools to recognize me. That's how that was.
So how was it putting together, your own high school mixtapes and getting them out? What was the resources that you kind of used to do all that?
Um, Thankfully, I didn't have to do it myself. I was very close with my coach, and he knew someone that was very good with making mixtapes and highlight tapes. So him being him, did a favor for me and got that sorted, put it out there, and I received a couple interests from a lot of schools, primarily junior colleges though, which is why I went to my freshman year and my sophomore year.
We met at JSU because we were on the team together. You were on the team. I was a manager. But before
Yeah.
that, you were at Northwest Florida State College. What made you
Mm-hmm.
decide to come to JSU?
Um, we have Coach Harper to thank for that. Um, his recruitment technique, I would say, was pretty efficient. I mean, I had a lot of big schools trying to recruit me at the time. Um, but there was just something about Coach Harper and Coach Chase. They were very consistent, very, very consistent. And they showed me that they were interested and they weren't, trying to just mess with me at the time, be like, yeah, just taking it just because. No, they were invested and I could see that. So that showed me right there I could put my faith and my trust in him. And even, I spoke to my mom about it and told him he was calling me every week, and he flew down. This is in less than a year, not less than a year, less than a semester. He flew down at least 4 times to come see me. Twice was during practice, and 2 times for 2 of my games. And talking to my coach on the phone about it, talking to my mom, and I was like, yeah, I feel like this man he knows how to bring the best out of me. And I wasn't wrong about that. Got to JSU. She changed my whole game. Turned me from just a shooter to allowed me to have a post game, which I'd never done before. Expanding my game, expanding my just all the tools I have.
Yeah,
So,
I
yeah.
remember I remember backing you down there with the pad and the post there during practice and stuff. And speaking of practice, I wanted to ask you, you were always joking around, you were always cutting up during practice, before the games and stuff, but as soon as the whistle blew, there was just like a switch that flipped. What was that mentality that you would just kind of go into where you just have tunnel vision?
Um, right, I do like to joke around a lot. Me and Jawan especially, and Huff. But it's like for me, as soon as that whistle blows, it's like I'm locked in. It's like it gets to a point I'm focused on the game. All I'm hearing is coach on the sideline and my teammates on the court. Like most of the time after games, I have people telling me, "Yo, Kayne, did you hear me out there screaming your name, cheering for you?" I'm like, honestly, no, because I don't hear the crowd when I'm out there. The crowd does not faze me at all. Like a tunnel vision type of thing you're talking about. It's straight me in the game at that point. Because I know when the whistle blows, it's time to get down to business. And me, I tend to overthink a lot during the game, so it's essential for me to be locked in at the time because I know I have many lapses during games where I just flip off for like a split second and I make a mistake, and I don't like letting that happen. So I do my best to lock in when it's go time.
you're playing professionally in Germany now. What was
Yeah.
that adjustment for you moving to, Germany, the process of finding an agent, finding a team to play for? What was all that like?
I'm gonna start with the agent side of it. So Coach Chase, he's like that with me. He's like my boy. Has been since recruited me. Coincidentally, my agent is very, very good friends with Coach Chase. So Coach Chase told me, yo, I have this guy, very good. He's like family to me. So him telling me that already, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna put my faith in this guy because you trust him. So luckily for me, I got that situation sorted out easily, just there and then. And even yeah, he kept his word to it. I love my agent, Coach Chase. He wasn't wrong about him. Very cool. He checks on me every now and then to make sure I'm good, and he found the best possible situation for me. And moving on from that, going over to Germany. Um, for me, it hasn't really been a big change because at this point, I'm used to being away from home. Sorry, I was in America for 5 years, and for 3 of those years, I didn't go home, which was when I got to Jacksonville. I didn't go home for 3 years straight. So having that adjustment, it wasn't really different to me. If anything, it was better because I'm closer to home. As the flight's like an hour and a half, not compared to America where it's like 10, 12, whatever. But the only difference is, which I'm not going to say I dislike, but I struggle with at times, is the language barrier over here. Like, people do speak English, but it's broken for the most part. It's like they can speak it, but it's like, it's not English, you know what I mean? But other than that, it's pretty smooth. I like it over here. Love my team right now. And like I said, I think I'm wherever I go, I'm always blessed. Wherever I go, the situation, especially with the coaches, straight from like all my JUCOs at Jacksonville, even here right now, I feel like my coach over here, he's invested in me the same way Coach Harper is. So I feel like everything's just playing out pretty well for me.
Well, Kane, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. Good luck to you in Germany, man. I'm proud of you. I'm excited for you. Good luck.
Thank you. You take care.